Welcome to, actually, let me start over. This is Wednesday, April 21st. There are 78 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2015. Welcome to the San Diego SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog. All right, now we play music.
That we don't, because I'm not smart enough to do that live.
All right, we'll figure that out eventually. I am your host, James Riley, and joining me on the podcast today is my partner in crime, Kerry Dixon.
Hello, everybody.
And joining us today is Sarah Lacey, our graphic designer, and if you got the newsletter today, it's all her.
Hello.
All right. So the SDConCast is brought to you by 3D Light Effects, the makers of innovative cordless 3D deco lights. Find the perfect Marvel, Nickelodeon, Hasbro, or Disney light to decorate your or your child's room. And now you can pre-order the brand new Star Wars lights available in Darth Vader, Yoda, or Boba Fett. Visit 3dlighteffects.com or our show notes to find out more.
Okay, so I kind of want to kick off this week by talking a little bit about what's probably the biggest thing that's been going on in the last week, which is the parking lottery. And it actually hasn't officially kicked off because sales don't start until Monday, which is April 27th, right? But
Yes.
for those that don't know, Ace Parking is in charge of parking, and last year when they did the sale, they had a whole bunch of issues, ranging from the site kept crashing because it's a Comic-Con sale, so of course it's going to crash for hours because that's just what we like to do. And then when it would come up, the payment page kept crashing, so some payments were going through, even though it was acting like they weren't, and so some people wound up being charged hundreds of dollars, some people wound up being charged $1,000. It was pretty bad. So they went to a lottery system this year, and what do we all think about that? Do we think that's fair? Do we think they should have tried to fix the problems? What do you think, James?
Is it fair? Well, it's probably the fairest way that can possibly be done with the current setup and with the current problems. Should they have possibly upgraded servers to try to fix things? I think that is a solution that hopefully they had looked into and was just completely cost ineffective, but I think that they probably could have gone with that if they had been willing to put the work in on getting it done. Because obviously there are plenty of sites that can handle a large load, like Ticketmaster and such, who have the backbone for things like that. It's just whether or not they would be able to access a system like that.
Right. They talked a lot last year. They completely revamped their system last year. They tested their servers for a huge amount of load, and it still had all the problems. So I kind of feel like this year they basically said, we know that no matter what we do, there's going to be more people who want parking than we can really anticipate. And so let's just not even, let's just try something different. And I at least appreciate that. I would like to say, though, none of us are actually trying for parking, right?
Yeah.
So we may not be the greatest people to
Get some of the others like Sean or Lisa on to talk about it. I'm sure that we will get a nice rant about it.
Yeah.
Is the demand for parking that big compared to the amount of spaces? Because I don't know. I haven't. My first year I parked, but that was just you just bought a pass. It wasn't a big deal then. So compared to the lottery has to be done for the other stuff, but does it have to be done for parking?
I don't think that there's significantly more people trying to get parking than there actually is parking available. It's the amount of people trying to get the best parking.
Oh.
Yeah, that's basically the biggest thing. And we also lost the campus lot over by Petco Park, which means we actually lost 520 parking spaces this year. So that doesn't seem like a ton, but I know Ace Parking said that for this lottery, they basically assigned people into 6 groups of 500 people. So if you consider that's 3,000 people even, and I have no idea how many actual parking spaces we have in play, but let's say it's 5,000. If you lose 500 of those spots, that's a decent chunk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, this is the 3,000, essentially the 3,000 best spots, the closest ones to the convention center for walking. And of course, everybody wanted the Hilton, Bayfront Hilton, or the convention center because those were right underneath or right next door for easy access. But what a lot of people are either forgetting or just really don't want to think about is that there is actually a lot of parking. It's just going to be a little bit more of a walk. There is a lot of parking downtown, and I don't think it's going to be really that big of an issue. It's just how close you're going to get, and you have to come the day of and get it.
Are all of the spots? You mean spots that aren't through ACE? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, ACE actually even does some like show up on the day of and pay to park.
I think Park It on Market is a show up the day of.
It might be.
Is one of those ones which has a pretty good amount of spaces. Are they allowing parking in Horton Plaza this year for the convention?
That I don't know.
Because that would have a lot of spaces if they're using that at all.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of parking, but obviously a lot of it is going to be 10 blocks, 15 blocks, a mile out, which is not conducive for people wanting to get there quickly.
No,
but
that's what we did that first year, Sarah.
Yeah.
We parked like a mile out. That was not a good idea.
We walked one day, and then we took cabs the rest of it and wasted the parking. We're like, this is working.
I mean, this may get more people to use the trolley system.
Yep.
Or the actual Comic-Con bus system.
Yeah.
Which, if there's a parking space a mile out that's close to one of the bus stops and you have your badge,
hop on
do that if that's something that you can do, if that's the only thing available.
And the shuttles are great. Like, I mean, I know you sometimes have to wait for them, but they're awesome. If you've never used the shuttles, they're clean, they're nice.
And they run all day long.
Yes, they do. So
it doesn't matter when you're done, there will be a shuttle for you.
Yep.
Which is something that's really awesome. So as far as how the lottery went, I think it's both a positive and a negative. People were able to put in and have extra chances if they had more than one email, which who doesn't have more than one email these days? On the flip side, that means there was obviously an inflated demand because one person could send in 15 requests.
Right.
And if they got 10 of those, then what is going to happen to the other 9?
And I'm really curious to see what happens to that, because I know I've seen several people who reported that they got more than one email back. So I'm curious to see if they give that to a friend or if we wind up with a whole bunch of unused parking. Could be interesting.
Yeah. And I'm hoping few people are the ones who are, the scalper side of things and are getting them just to sell them on Craigslist or whatever for a really inflated rate.
Yep.
Yeah. In the Q&A, Transmute June said, yes, parking is being sold at Horton Plaza.
Good.
Okay.
That's a good, convenient place to park as well, even though it's not the closest. It's not a super inconvenient walk. So that's a good one if that's if you're in one of the groups 3, 4, 5, whatever, and that's one that's being offered. It's not awful. It's not right under the convention center, obviously, but it's not the worst. But we'll just have to see how it plays out when it actually goes on sale, how well it runs, and then what's available in the open lottery, open pay, which is either June 6th or 8th or something like that. In early June, they're putting everything open to the public, right?
June 8th, yeah. And I know back when ACE first announced the parking lottery, they told me flat out that they knew like the convention center and Hilton Garage and all the close lots are going to sell out. But they expect by the time it gets to Group 6 and those are gone, some people may not even want to purchase parking.
Right.
So we'll have quite a few left over to go to the public. So if you're freaking out, don't. I also want to talk about one other complaint that I've seen from quite a few people. I've seen on social media several people complaining that Comic-Con International didn't really alert them to the parking sale, which they never do. I mean, it's not really their job. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
That Comic-Con not making any news?
Like, some people seem to be expecting CCI to send them an email, but they've never done that for parking, right?
No, they never have.
you could argue it should be treated the same as hotels in a way because hotels aren't directly a part of it like parking isn't, but they still kind of handle it.
They do put links up on the website saying for parking and link to the ACE parking sale, but they don't run it. They don't have a contract directly with ACE like they do with travel planners or Epic. So they don't do the information, so they are not involved in the process of selling.
Yeah.
Whether or not they want to do that or it's just something that they just are completely hands-off and never will have a hand in, we don't know. But for now, it is definitely hands-off because they do not have a direct contract with ACE Parking to do the parking for the show.
Yeah.
How does that work for the convention center parking then? They just lump that in with ACE instead of...
I know that they do have some conversations with ACE about that because in the email that they sent out to the Group 1 people, they actually said, right now we're waiting on Comic-Con International to let us know how many parking spots they need. And so we can't really guarantee that everyone in Group 1 will get the convention center.
Okay.
Right, because I think the only thing Comic-Con does have a direct hand in is exhibitor parking.
Yep.
They allow the exhibitors to get parking before the others.
And I think that actually went on sale today. So, pretty sure.
Although, in the questions, I think it's Transmute June again. June said that CCI never did update their page this year.
Yeah, they didn't. So I mean, I do agree they should have done that, but at the same time, I kind of feel like parking at least is kind of like exclusives or a lot of the other things where there's so much information, it's almost kind of up to you to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's the thing where, just paying attention to it, paying attention to either social media or, us or any other place that's going to be putting out news about it is keeping an eye on that. Unfortunately, that's really the only way to do it right now.
Yeah, it is. And I would also like to give a quick thank you to ACE because obviously we've had a couple issues with vendor sales this year. I won't get too into that. But ACE Parking at least is very hands-on in their social media and their emails. And if you ever have a question about parking or anything like that, they're usually really good about actually answering questions.
Right.
I mean, they have an
FAQ page. It may not be the answer you want.
Yeah.
But at least they're communicating with you to help in whenever they can or answer questions.
Yeah. So, seeing as we've now had parking move to a lottery this year, do you guys think hotels might be next in line?
I hope not.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's.
I don't know either. We don't know what they're going to do. I know that they will most likely evaluate and see if it's something that is necessary because they obviously have made changes over the years and they're not averse to making a change, but they're also not quick to change.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I'm kind of two minds of that. Like on the one hand, I feel like something definitely has to change when it comes to the hotel process because it's just, as we saw this year, it didn't work.
Right.
But at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like a lottery for hotels is just
maybe if you could do like downtown lottery and Mission Valley lottery or something where it wasn't just all together because like some people want to be out in Mission Valley and some people would rather sleep on the sidewalk than not be downtown. So I mean, I don't know.
They have to figure something out though, and
I mean they kind of already do that though.
Yeah.
Sleep on the sidewalk?
Something has to change.
That too.
Move to South Dakota.
That's right. It solves everything. It really does, though. You want space? We got wide open fields. It's great.
Sleep on a sleeping bag? No problem. Every night.
That's right. Campfire City, baby. All right.
So, everyone, good luck. If not good luck in getting any emails, but hopefully you got the email you wanted or can get access to one with all the multiples that went out. And good luck getting parking if you didn't get an email and get it after the fact when it goes on sale on June 8th in the public on sale.
Mm-hmm.
We do, before we move on real quick, we do have one question/comment from Estelle Chisholm. And she says, if they did move hotel to a lottery system, what would the best way be? By email like Ace, those who have tickets versus those who don't? I want to address one thing. I'm sure that there are a handful of people who didn't have badges that got a hotel, but I just don't feel like that's the vast majority of people. I mean, do you guys feel that way?
No, I think there are probably more people that are helping someone who has a ticket who don't have tickets themselves than there are actually people who are coming down and planning to come down without a ticket. So I mean, if I had a ticket and I had 3 family members helping me and they're not going, then there's more people than the one person who may be coming down for Nerd HQ or just to be in the area and hang around.
Yeah.
I feel like people who do that, who are just coming for the other things, are more of a last-minute kind of thing, or they know somebody, or they're from the area, and they're staying with somebody else. They're not planning and spending all that money on the hotel just to not have a ticket.
Yeah, I don't think it's a significant number of people. If there's a million people trying, they're going to be, less than 5%, probably even around 1%.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So,
I pretty much live on Twitter in the hashtag, and in the last, month, I think I've seen one person who said that they got a hotel and didn't have a badge. One.
Yeah.
So, it's not a lot. But to actually answer this person's original question, what would be the best way? I don't know, honestly. I've seen some people suggest, maybe find a way to combine it with badge sales so that you can when you buy your badge, you can get your hotel at the same time. I don't know if that's the best solution.
Badge sales, and that would not work.
No, it wouldn't.
So I think that they may want to move it to a badge-only system just to make it fair for those who do have badges. At least in the eyes of everyone who has badges who thinks that there's that many people out there trying.
Yeah.
And then make it a crash-proof lottery system like the email. But the problem with the email, again, is how many emails do you have? But if you go by the badge system, you can only submit one with your badge ID.
I mean, I know a straight-up lottery like Ace would make me very nervous. But honestly, a waiting room system like they do for badges I don't think I'd hate that. Because I feel like at least with that, you and everybody else can work together just like you do with badge sales, and you can coordinate okay, well, I got in and the Hilton Bayfront is still available, so I'm going to grab that, and then so on. That to me would probably be the best solution, but who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Because you're never going to be able to make everybody happy, and that's the thing that I think more people need to realize about Comic-Con sales in general is they're really doing the best that they can to please and help the most amount of people that they can, but you're never going to be able to find the perfect solution for a million people.
For 130,000 people can't all be happy at the same time?
No.
No, it's not going to be possible.
No. So.
Unless they show the Star Wars trailer. And then, that won't make people happy because the 6,000 people who see the Star Wars trailer, there'll be 120,000 people who can't see it right then, and they won't be happy.
That's right. So that doesn't work at all.
That doesn't work at all. All right. Nobody's happy.
All right. Well, if you guys have any more questions about parking, you can comment. If you're watching on Google+, you can actually comment, and we can see them. So feel free to let us know. You can also reach us on Twitter. All right. So
we're going to move on to news.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and start us off.
Go.
Well, we all know that Walking Dead Escape is coming back to Petco Park. So they also have announced recently, it's kind of like, I think, its own mini convention, is called Walker Stalker Fan Fest. And that's during the daytime. The Walking Dead Escape is at night on Friday and Saturday. So this is from in the day on Friday and Saturday from 11 to 5. And it's like its own little convention. There's going to be vendor booth. It's all The Walking Dead. Booths, panels, autographs, photo ops, more stuff. There's already been some guests announced from people from the show. And
they're doing a concert with one of the actors.
Emily Kinney, who plays Beth. Played? I don't know. I don't watch the show. played, who knows?
She was in The Walking Dead.
Yes.
At some point.
At some point or currently. Wait, is the show over?
No.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Not even close.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds really cool.
Yeah, I think it's neat. It's going to be a cool thing to have during the day. So if you're over that way and doing all the other stuff.
And the convention part is happening essentially at the same place that the escape is happening, correct?
Yeah, just during the day. It goes 11 to 5, and then I think the escape is 6 to 10.
I think so.
Okay.
So you got a little break in there. And then so you can go to the blog, and there's details on the tickets, but they're $30 for the day passes for Friday and Saturday, or you can get a 2-day pass for $55. There's also some VIP passes available on their website. You can check that out. It's walkerstalkerfanfest.com. Or you could enter our contest. We have 2 tickets we're giving away. There are two sets of 2-day passes for the general admission, and so it's about $110 value. It's kind of awesome. So go to the blog and enter to win.
Yeah.
There's 12 days left. We're going to give away on May 4th.
That's right. And like I said, it should be a really good time. I've seen a whole lot of people talking about if they don't have a Friday or Saturday badge, like, this is a great option, especially if you're into The Walking Dead. And they're also not just The Walking Dead. I wanted to clarify that. I know that they've had like some Gotham people at some of their other conventions and some other people. So
it's just cool. the Walking Dead is the impetus to put it on as the Walker Stalker Fest.
Yeah.
And then they'll get some other people in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've been holding those for a little while now, haven't they? Under that name.
Walker Stalker Conventions is what they've been holding them under. I've been told that they've been around for less than 2 years, but everybody who's been, again, I live on Twitter, everybody's been saying they put on great conventions. So
it's kind of a cool way to see some celebrities if you don't have a badge that day, or you don't get a badge at all. Cool
that it's a more narrow focused off-site mini convention like Nerd HQ would be more of a general mini convention, where this one is much more focused.
Yeah. Those are always fun, because then it's more just, everybody's there for the same thing, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
And we all know Comic-Con has quite a few The Walking Dead fans, so.
Wow, there's a couple.
So, should be good.
Yeah.
We also had some other big news here in the last couple weeks. Hallmark unveiled their exclusives, which this year, for the first time, they'll actually be heading to San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con. So if you're going to one or both of those conventions, you can pick them up. But they've got, obviously, some ornaments, like they've got a Batman Batmobile from the classic TV series, which looks pretty cool. And then they've also got an Alien keepsake ornament, and it's got the Xenomorph, I think is how we say it, with the egg. And then there's also a U-3PO and R5-D4 ornament pack. And finally, they've also got, these aren't ornaments, but they're those little plush figures that Hallmark does, the itty bitties. And they're going to have an exclusive set for Comic-Con, which is Boba Fett and Han Solo in Carbonite. So these, my understanding is Hallmark is known for not bringing very many of their exclusives. Like, I think I read last year they had like 300. So
it's very exclusive.
Yeah. So if you want these, like, plan on making this your first priority of the day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's not very many.
No, it's really not. But we had something else that happened that I wanted to talk about. So Lionsgate and Comic-Con International announced basically that they're teaming up for a streaming service. And there's not that many details right now about the service. But they said that Lionsgate will get access to Comic-Con International's 40 years of archives, and we also don't know yet if the subscription will be paid or not, but I would assume it is. But they'll have some original content, and then they'll also have CCI's content. And this is really CCI's first foray into video on demand or any kind of streaming their panels outside of
It's
inside
the
the
first time
convention center halls. Yeah.
their panels are coming from the source for the first time ever.
Yeah.
They've never, as far as I know, they've never released their panels that they've filmed.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so. I don't think so either. I've seen a lot of people say that this is CCI's first step into potentially live streaming the convention. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's actually going to happen, or do you think that this is more about, like, Lionsgate has access to a lot of their older stuff, and so that's more what this deal is? What do you think?
I think they would. It's more than likely that they'll just release stuff sooner, maybe not live, but maybe within a couple of months or 6 months or a year, they'll release that year's panels. So people, maybe to encourage people not to video if they know they're going to get it in full a little while later. But I don't know.
And that's actually exactly what I think. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but I know. Is it John Rogers, James?
The president?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. John Rogers, the president, in Talkback at WonderCon, basically said that they like Comic-Con International attendees being able to have, like, the special experience, and they weren't really interested in live streaming. I mean, that wasn't the exact quote, but that was kind of how I was reading it. And I, especially with this being Lionsgate only, I just don't see this meaning Comic-Con International is going to stream everything, because you'd have to deal with every other studio, every other panel. I mean, I don't really see Warner Brothers being like, sure, Lionsgate can live stream our panels. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
They'd want to be able to edit out exclusive content, I would think.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be live.
They'd have to remember to flip the switch every single time to generic, we cannot show this now. So
They'd have a delay.
that is the one thing that makes these panels really difficult to stream is the exclusive content that would get shown on the screen, or even if it's something that's just, on the panel itself, if there's a poster or something shown.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, I just feel like there's too many logistics with all the different studios, and since this deal is Lionsgate only, like if the announcement had been that Comic-Con International was opening their own video-on-demand stream, I feel like it might be different. But I don't feel like that's necessarily what this announcement was. And obviously a lot of other conventions are moving to live streaming, like Star Wars Celebration just happened, and they did it. I think New York Comic-Con either does stream or is going to stream quite a few of their panels. But like James was saying earlier, Comic-Con International is open to change, but they're very slow to do it. So I just don't really see them.
Yeah, and based on the attitude of the statements, it doesn't look like it'll be happening anytime soon. No. They could surprise us, but based on how difficult it is to stream the exclusive content, and the fact that the statement was worded to say they're getting our library, our archive.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
That's basically what this is for now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I think it is. So, anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because I've seen a lot of people discussing it, and I don't necessarily feel like it means what a lot of people are reading into it.
Yeah.
So, James, what else is going on?
Well, Hasbro also announced some of their exclusives for this year at G.I. Joe Con 2015 on April 11th. They announced that they will have a couple of exclusives. The first one is going to be at the it'll be at the Hasbro Toy Shop booth for $99.99. It'll be the Crimson Strike set, which features the Cobra Scythe Jet and the G.I. Joe Chimera, with Grunt, Steeler, AVAC, and Alley Viper officer figures. And then they'll also do the Desert Duel set, which is going to be at Entertainment Earth, part of their Toys R Us exclusives. That'll be $59.99. And it'll be the FOE Strikes and Cobra Basilisk, as well as Night Fox, Chuckles, Fleet Horseman and Cobra Air Trooper figures. You can get a closer look on our site. We have the pictures up. And it looks like they'll also do the usual where after the convention, if any are left over, or there may even be a few left over that they hold back for HasbroToyShop.com.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if they completely don't sell out and there are just plenty left over, they'll probably show up at Toys R Us as well.
Well, usually those Toys R Us exclusives do in fact show up at Toys R Us a couple months after, and I could be wrong, but I don't think last year any of the Toys R Us Hasbro exclusives wound up showing up on HasbroToyShop.com. So basically what that means is that first one that's being sold only at Hasbro is going to be a lot more exclusive than the second one, which will be over at Entertainment Earth and fairly easy to get. So
there you go. $100. Yeah.
Tell us.
I don't like G.I. Joe that much.
But
I almost was considering the Transformers ones last year that were almost $200, but yeah, I didn't want to put in the effort to get those. That requires a lot of work.
The cool thing, though, is this does actually mean that now Hasbro has kicked off their exclusive announcements, so we should be getting more in the coming weeks, which, I mean, if we've got 78 days till Comic-Con, there's not that much time left. So
we'll get them sometime soon. They'll start, I mean, come on, Hallmark and Hasbro and a few others have already announced some exclusives, so they'll start coming pretty soon. We'll get a lot more.
I'm hearing NECA could be soon.
Ooh. Yeah, they do some good stuff, too.
They do.
Okay, so, and then also, as Kerry mentioned a minute ago, Star Wars Celebration was this last weekend, and some pretty big news came out of there. They actually revealed a few SDCC exclusives, which we have news about in our Under the Tents column. I think it was Gentle Giant
and Jax Pacific.
Jax had a couple of them that announced. They had actual. You can get pictures of them while you were there. So those are out. And what was really the big news is that they're moving to an annual convention, and next year's is in London, and it already went on sale. You can actually get tickets right now.
Yep.
It's a 3-day convention, and it is happening. Let me look over here. We have the exact dates. July 15 through 17, 2016, in London's Excel Center. And the reason why that is a big deal is that's right around the time Comic-Con is every year. And fortunately, we basically figured out, without actually confirming it, it is unconfirmed, but we basically figured out that the next week is when Comic-Con is, so if you want to go to both, we are assuming that you can.
Yeah.
So, but that would be a pretty big 2 weeks if you tried to do both.
Yeah, it would. So, James, what do you think? Do you think that there's a correlation to it being so close to Comic-Con? Do you think that since it's in London, it doesn't really make a difference? What do you think?
That's a tough one. If being in London, I don't know if it's going to have as much impact. But if they continue it, and the one that's going to be in Orlando the year after, which everyone's assuming it's in Orlando again in 2017, if they put that one around the same time as Comic-Con, then I'm going to assume that they're doing it on purpose. And that we can expect probably after this year to get less Star Wars stuff at Comic-Con if they're running a convention the week or before or after.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think the fact that they'll be in London the week before more than likely means we won't get much Star Wars stuff next year.
And next year's is going to have Rogue One panels and Episode 8 panels and who knows what else.
Yeah.
Because, they didn't do any reveals for the other standalone, so that one will probably be getting covered there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to, if it's the week before Comic-Con, there's a chance we will not get very much at Comic-Con next year for Star Wars. They could obviously decide to just move everyone from one week to the next and just send them all in and do a panel still anyway. But it'll be interesting to see what happens having it in London the week before.
What I'm hoping happens is maybe we start getting like a switch off between Marvel and Star Wars. So since we are fairly certain Marvel isn't coming this year, since James Gunn kind of dropped the ball on that one, Maybe we'll get Star Wars this year and Marvel next year. I mean,
that would
who
be.
knows?
I'd be okay with that.
I would be okay with that too.
Yeah.
So.
You know, if Marvel's not there, you know, what's going to happen on Saturday night, and what better to take its place than Star Wars, especially since they're owned by the same company.
Yeah, because you know, if something big isn't there, it's just going to be Warner Brothers and DC, and I can't see Marvel. I don't know if Disney's going to want to give up that spot.
No, I don't think so.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Do we know? I think it's interesting. They already put the tickets on sale. Did they sell out or anything? Like that seems kind of not great to me to do it like that because people have to like to plan, you know.
They sold out of the VIPs in minutes, basically.
Yeah, in like 3 minutes.
But
like
no, the tickets going on sale a year in advance is, I think it's just what they do. They always put them on sale really far in advance.
Well, but did they even like? I understand they advanced, but like, did they give people like a day or two to
they announced
when it was, or did they?
They announced them on Saturday, I think it was, of the convention, and then they went on sale on Monday.
I think wasn't it Sunday? Maybe it was Saturday. I don't know. Yeah. Whenever the convention ended, the last day is when they announced it.
It may have been the last day in the closing ceremonies, and then after they gave them a whole day.
Seems like they could have gave a little bit more of a notice for people who, because there's going to be people who are going to want to travel for that,
well, and people are traveling home from Anaheim.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know.
You could. Did Star Wars Celebration even sell out? I'm pretty sure
it finally sold out during the convention, like on Thursday or Friday. All of the days sold out.
But see, like if you could even buy tickets that close.
Yeah.
In Anaheim.
That's true.
Surely you're going to have a couple months at least for London. Maybe I'm wrong.
The only ones that really needed to be concerned were the VIPs, obviously, since they were gone so fast.
Yeah.
I think about
things do that every time.
SDCC. So.
No, the only convention that is approaching that I've actually bought tickets to that is approaching SDCC is actually Gallifrey One here in LA, which sells out in less than an hour now.
I've heard that.
So, but that's only 3,000 tickets or so, 4,000 tickets, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's not very big at all compared to SDCC and Celebration type sizes.
Yeah.
So, and also I wanted to point out that if you wanted to check out anything about Star Wars Celebration, Sean over at parksandcons.com and on his YouTube channel and all that did a ton of coverage. So if you wanted to see anything that happened at the convention, just go check it out because there's a ton of stuff there, and I don't even think it's posted at all. So I'm sure there's even more coming.
Yes.
But as usual, if Sean goes to a convention, you can pretty much assume that there's going to be complete coverage and tons of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And until Twitter gets some things sorted out, you can still find Sean. You may have noticed his Twitter account disappeared. You can still find him over at it's the underscore, right?
Yeah, the underscore con underscore
fluence. Yeah, on Twitter. You can find out. Go ahead.
Let me make sure to say the reason his account is not there has nothing to do with something he did wrong.
Correct.
It's something that someone else did wrong.
Yeah.
So we'll let him explain it if you want to ask him or go check out his feed as to what happened. He explains it a little bit on his account, but it's not a big deal. He's just waiting for Twitter to actually get it turned back on, which they said they would. They just haven't done it yet because they're slow. So.
You can still find him. He's Parks and Cons everywhere else. Parksandcons.com. He's Parks and Cons on YouTube, on Instagram. So go check him out. Okay, something else happened in the last couple weeks.
What?
Tickets to our party, Enchantment Under the SDCC, went on sale, and they've been on sale now for 8 days. And I believe, let me double check this, but I believe we are at 87% right now to funding.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we've got about 22 more days left to reach our goal. And thank you so much to everybody who's either bought tickets or helped spread the word or donated or even just told us you like us. We love you guys so much. We haven't crossed the finish line yet though, so keep spreading the word. If you want to come, we hope you'll come hang out with us. We've got a whole bunch of fun things planned, and I wanted to announce what?
Free booze.
Free booze, yes. It's going to be an open bar. We do giveaways. Everybody gets a goodie bag. most of you have purchased the ticket package that includes at least the hashtag shirt. And if you want the hashtag shirt, you can also still grab that on the campaign. It's $30. We'll ship it to you for that price as well. It's got a white line, and you can even write in your own hashtag for Comic-Con. It's pretty cool.
This is basically the same shirt we've had the one she's wearing.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. It's exactly.
But it's got the 2015 year on it, so that it's exclusive for this year. And this is unless we do little prize drops around the convention again, this is the only way to get it, and you can get it before the convention.
Yeah.
So
we will be shipping these before the convention, so you'll have it in time.
So this is the great way to get it, and it's a cool shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool shirt. We've gotten requests every year for it, so it's finally available. But one thing that we wanted to talk about is, I've been saying for a while, we've been working really hard on getting some awesome giveaways for you guys, which if you don't know, we basically do raffle giveaways. And we've got our first announcement. We will be giving away, these are two separate prizes, but we will be giving away 2 Zombie The Walking Dead escape tickets, which basically means they will put makeup on you and you get to be a zombie and go chase people around an obstacle course, which sounds pretty awesome. And just that Walker Stalker Fan Fest that we were talking about earlier, we will also be giving away 2 two-day passes to it. So anybody who attends our party is eligible for either of those, and we'll be giving both of those away. So we've got a whole bunch of other cool giveaways coming up, and we're working hard to get you guys some cool prizes.
Yes.
And those you have to be at the party, right? To get those, it's a raffle.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do have to be present, but like I said, anybody who's at the party physically in the room is eligible. So.
There you go. We have a question about the T-shirts. Which one is that?
When will we get emails on the shirt sizes? Hey, Adam. I'm waiting until we're 100% funded just to make sure, because I don't really want to create extra work for myself on the off chance that we're not. But once we are 100% funded, we'll be shooting out a survey to everybody to get your shirt size, and if there is any additional information we needed. We will also be sending out barcoded tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't really matter if the name on the ticket matches who shows up. It doesn't really matter any of that. But we will be scanning them, and so you can do whatever you want with your ticket. But we'll also be sending those out after the campaign ends.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Cool.
Yes. All right. So go check it out. It's on Indiegogo. Links are on the website.
And they'll be in the show notes.
Right. Or you can just go to Indiegogo and search for Enchantment Under the SDCC.
Yep.
Will they find it by doing that?
Yep. It's also, when you go to our site, it's the first slider.
Awesome.
Image, yeah.
Okay. So other little news bits is it was confirmed WonderCon 2016 will be March 25th through 27th at the Los Angeles Convention Center. We discussed that at our last podcast, the WonderCon wrap-up. You can go listen to that if you want to hear us talk in depth about it. The 11th wave of SDCC guests was announced this week. So that's roughly, 60 or 70-ish guests now that have been announced? Do they announce 5 or 6 per?
Yeah, they do 5 per.
Okay, so 55.
55.
So they said that they were basically announcing them one set a week, pretty much.
Through the end of April, so we're almost done.
Okay, so 1, 2 more, maybe?
I think just 1 more.
1 more? Jeez, already.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay, all right, so, and we mentioned earlier, but if there's a lot of little news bits and things that happen that we catch thanks to Kerry and Lisa, who, as Kerry says, live in the Twitter tags.
We really do.
And they show up in our Under the Tents column. We call it UTT. And that comes out currently once or twice a week. And it will end up being daily very soon, probably as more news comes out. And then it may even come out twice a day as we get into the last weeks before the convention. So if you want to get just your really quick digest of all of the news bits that are coming out, that's on the site. and all you have to do is just go in and click on the latest one and get the news.
Yep. Yep.
And
you
then,
can also sign up for our newsletter.
Yes. Which started today.
Yes. Yeah, and that'll be once a week. So we don't clog your inbox, but it's just a nice quick digest of here's what you might have missed, because we know there's a whole bunch of news.
Yeah, and it's gonna start just getting bigger. Everything just kind of snowballs and rolls as we get closer and closer to the convention, and doesn't really stop. So, if you
can
need
sign
to,
up on the website for that too.
Right, SDCCblog.com.
Yes.
So, I think that's about it for.
Well, before we close up, I wanted to do a really quick giveaway. We're going to do these as often live as we can. But I have a Malcolm Reynolds Funko Pop here. The light is terrible. There we go. So, if you want to win this, all you have to do is go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SDConblog, C-O-N, blog. And the last post that I made was about the podcast, and it says, join the SDConCast team as we kick off Season 4, blah, 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 blah. Go, and on that post, comment with the word shiny, and the first person who does that gets Malcolm. So.
Awesome.
Did they do it yet?
Go do it.
There's a lag.
Is there a winner?
There's a lag.
It'll be there soon enough. All right. Well, everyone's racing to Facebook.
Yes.
Be sure to check out the show notes for more information about our sponsor, 3D Light Effects, and their brand new line of Star Wars cordless 3D Deco lights. Which are we going to have another review up of one of those soon?
Soon-ish. I've been told that it's early mid-May is what I've been told.
Okay. All right. Can't wait to see those.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
and they've got more coming. So if you like Star Wars, they'll have even more lights out later this year.
That's really cool. And you can get those not just online, right? They're in stores now.
I think Target has some of them.
Mm-hmm. They do. The Star Wars lights right now you can only pre-order on, I think it's geekshack.com. They might be on other places. I know a couple weeks ago it was just geekshack.com. But they're really cool lights. I've got a Captain America one actually in the other room. And the cool thing is they've got these... Oh, hold on. We've got a winner. We have... Adam Tatum. Congratulations.
Oh, Adam.
Go, Adam. You have won the Malcolm Reynolds Funko Pop. So I'm going to message you from the blog, so you might have to check your other messages. But give it about 10 minutes after this ends, and you'll have a message, and we'll get your address and get this shipped out to you. So, cool. What was I saying?
About where to find the lights.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you can go to somewhere like Target where you can actually see them, so you can check them out if you need to be if you're the type who needs to see them in person before you buy.
They're really cool. They've got this little crack sticker that you adhere to the wall, and then it looks like they're bursting out of your wall. It's awesome. So.
Really cool night lights for kids.
And adults.
Are they battery powered?
No, they see they're night lights for kids. They're cool mood lights for adults.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's go with that. Yes, they are battery powered. They're cordless, so
cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so I think that'll do it for this week.
I think so too. Under an hour. What?
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 I can talk more.
No.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
All right. All right, Sarah, where can our listeners find more of your work on the internet?
At slaystation. Nothing. At slaystation.
Do you even know where you are on the internet, Sarah?
No. I don't have a website anymore.
Basically, if there's something created graphically for our website, she's the reason it's there, and it looks awesome.
She's the best.
All right, Kerry.
You can find me on Twitter at Kerry Dixon. You can also obviously find me on the blog Twitter at SD_comic_con. You can also find us on the website at sdccblog.com, and you can find us on the aforementioned Facebook at facebook.com/SDConblog.
All right, and you can find me on Twitter and pretty much everywhere, Dan Regal. Check out my website, geekshotphoto.com, where my wife and I post photos, and all of our social media links are across the top of the page if you can find us on your favorite one. Flickr, Instagram, Tumblr, all those places. We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up on the blog, or search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We are also on Stitcher Radio. The link is in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at sdcomiccon.blog@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, as we mentioned, at SDConblog, or tweet us at SD_comic_con. Thanks for listening, and until next week, everybody,
Go Shawarma!
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.